The Chania River cuts across central Kenya with its source in the Aberdares. As the river meanders down to join the Athi, it forms a major source of livelihood for millions of people. Its waters are used in major cities and towns in Kenya, hence supporting lives to many more millions. Along the riverbanks, many make a living out of farming, while the forests are a source of timber and firewood. Over the years, however, some people have turned the river into a convenient place for makeshift breweries. A lethal homemade alcoholic drink called chang'aa is brewed there. Chang'aa is a form of vodka brewed out of a concoction of chemicals and the byproduct of molasses. The end product is a very potent and lethal drink produced out of distillation with the fast-flowing waters acting as a cooling agent. The production of chang'aa has been going on for over 30 years here. The brew is then sold far and wide within the Republic of Kenya through sophisticated and clandestine distribution chains. Due to the unhygienic methods used to produce it, the government of Kenya classified it as an illicit drink and started a crackdown on the brewers. By December 2017, there were more than 60 illegal breweries operating over a length of 2 kilometers along the riverbanks. The breweries are mainly operated by rich barons taking advantage of the high youth unemployment in the villages for cheap labor. Most of the youths employed by the brewers often spend all their lives in the riverbanks while spending their nights in the caves like wild animals. These same caves were used by the Mau Mau freedom fighters during the struggle for Kenya's independence. Dangerous animals like snakes and leopards also find shelter in these caves. The breweries have been a source of livelihood to many in the supply chain, including corrupt government administration officials who take bribes from the brewers and sellers. With progressive changes of government leadership, there has been enhanced and intensified fights against the vice. The government has ordered a crackdown on the brewers, sellers, and consumers of chang'aa, with many being arrested and arraigned in court. Despite government efforts, chang'aa brewing continues to thrive. As a result of the intensified crackdowns, the brewers have resorted to using lethal chemicals as catalysts that ensure that the brew is ready to drink within 3 hours or less. This basically means that the drinkers are taking nothing but a mixture of dangerous chemicals. The end result is a rise in deaths as a result of health complications, rising cases of instant blindness, and suicide due to disillusionment. Almost an entire generation of people have been adversely affected, with schools closing, families breaking, and a rise in mental illness cases. With some of the designated enforcers of the law continuing to take bribes to look the other way, people continue to die, families are broken, and health of the victims continue to deteriorate. Poverty levels have also been on the rise. The scourge has affected a population of more than 300,000 people, majority of them being youths. Over time, the sellers of this dangerous drink have also expanded their business to include sale of other drugs and stimulants. They introduced dangerous drugs like bangi, muguka, mira, kobero, and also hard drugs in order to keep the youths on their leash. As a result, many young people in villages have turned into zombies due to their addiction. Others were introduced to bottled cheap liquor with ridiculously high potency. This has posed a bigger headache for the law enforcers, as most drinks are takeaways, hence make it more difficult to monitor. At the beginning of the year 2018, a group of locals came together and started some initiatives aimed at addressing the escalating situation. Besides organizing prayer rallies and seminars, they organized some medical camps and youth forums that culminated in a visit by senior government officials. With the help of community and religious leaders, a movement was created that drew the attention of the national leadership in addressing the issue of alcoholism and drugs abuse in central Kenya. The climax of it was the launch of a nationwide crackdown by the Minister for Interior Security in Kenya, who stipulated various measures aimed at curbing the menace. Since then, there have been weekly raids on chang'aa dens, of which by January 2020, they had reduced to less than 10. Under the umbrella of Joy Village Foundation, this group of like-minded Kenyans have continued to make tremendous efforts in restoring the dignity of the people and restore hope among the youths. Other than advocacy, Joy Village Foundation is engaging in empowering the youth with skills through partnerships with vocational training institutions in Kenya. We continue to advocate for behavioral change amongst the communities and also push for more government action against illegal brewers and dealers in these dangerous products. In order to keep them engaged, we have programs involving them in sporting activities, music, drama, and film production. These are particularly targeting young people who just completed school, are waiting to enroll in colleges, and transition to a work environment. We have a strong belief that when the youths are empowered, they are not likely to fall into irresponsible drunkenness and drugs abuse. They will form a strong pillar for a prosperous community and a stable nation. It's time to join hands and save a generation from imminent perish. Joy Village Foundation, taking care of the future.